watching him every minute.
I'm not mad at this opening scene showing how Jason's mom died after she killed the camp counselors. It's also a nice way to include the opening credits as well.
Her son, Jason, he came back. He watched his mom being beheaded.
Wait, this actually happened. Did someone see Jason take the necklace afterwards? Or is that just a fictional story someone made up, which is exactly true?
What's this? No! 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 No!
This kill isn't bad, but the two people he was just with doesn't hear him?
Wasn't Jason the name from Wade's story?
They don't immediately leave after seeing this. Damn, I love Jason setting up this trap. It really shows off Jason as more of a survivalist rather than just a crazy half-dead killer. This is a nice kill with Whitney's boyfriend being pulled under. Yes. This is a great opening scene in this movie. The film does well setting up the plot for the movie while also showing off how brutal Jason can be right off the bat.
Hey, Lawrence, how about a little help?
That's not a good look for you, man. You gonna ask the one black guy to pump the gas for you?
Did the one black guy in the movie's first line have to be about how he's the only black person in the group?
Situation.
Hey, are you gonna buy something? I mean, you've been up here for quite a while yapping, so.
Okay, it's time to look at the actors and the acting and the dialogue in the movie. The characters in the movie are average at best, as most of them don't bring anything substantial to the movie, outside of being one of Jason's victims. What works for the characters in the movie though is Clay trying to look for his sister and their backstory.
Our mother just died of cancer, did I tell you that? And Whitney took care of her every single day. And then my sister didn't show up for the funeral.
In all, it actually makes the other characters tolerable. Also, Derek Mears is great as Jason. But overall, the other characters in the movie lack significant development, making it hard for the audience to care about their fates. Their personalities and motivations are often shallow, reducing the emotional impact of their deaths. And I didn't even mention how most of the characters are just cliche horror movie stereotypes, which can make them feel less original and memorable. So with that, the movie earns a 3 out of 5 for actors and acting and dialogue.
Music. Trying to start a label.
Like what kind? Like rap?
Why you gotta go racial?
People go missing around here, they're gone for good.
Wait, is she saying she knows about Jason?
You just won't be left alone, and so does he.
Did the cops interview her?
Right, dude.
Okay, it's time to look at the editing in the movie. And it'll go in the good category. Nispel does a nice job conveying the movie's tone, as he does well with the choice of edits and the pacing in the movie. The tone is consistent throughout each scene, as the movie doesn't try to include too much silly comedy with the horror element in the movie. The use of the visual effects throughout the movie with the kills are good as well. The visual effects blend seamlessly and enhance the kills instead of making them seem artificial. So with that, the movie earns a 5 out of 5 for editing. This is another great kill showing off Jason's skills. Okay, it's time to look at the music and the score of the movie. It's neither good or bad as it ends up being average. Steve Jablonsky only used some of the original score in this movie, and the overall music and the score doesn't seem that impactful in the movie. So with that, the movie earns a 3 out of 5 for music and score. Damn, this kill is good. Okay, I think it's time to look at the genre of the movie, which is the horror. The movie ends up being scary for the most part, as the movie does a nice job visually, displaying Jason as frightening throughout the film. Most of the characters not being that compelling though hinders the horror in the movie. The fact that most of the audience doesn't care about these characters makes the build-up moments where Jason does kill them not that scary. If anything, you'll probably get more excited. Overall though, the horror isn't bad at all. So with that, the movie earns a 4 out of 5 for horror. So they call the cops about a guy carrying a dead body, and not only does the cop take his time, there's also only one cop that shows up.
Please open up.
Yes. Also, I think it's time to look at the directing and the cinematography in the movie. And the directing and the cinematography would go in the good category. Director Mark Nispel does a great job in the remake, creating some nice shots that go well in the movie. Nispel does well arranging visual information within the camera frame during certain scenes in the movie, like this scene with the mechanic in the attic. The close-up shot with the character to the slight left is Nispel telling the audience to focus on what's not in focus, which ends up being Jason appearing. Nispel also has some other great shots in the movie as well, such as the one in the bathroom and the one with the camera going through the door during this scene with the cop dying. So with that, the movie earns a 5 out of 5 for directing and cinematography. The movie would get a point for this death because you would expect these three to survive. But the movie killing off the main character's potential love interest was an unexpected and non-cliche move by the movie.
One. Run!
Jason just forgetting that he has a machete here and doesn't kill Clay.
Come on.
Look, I get they're new to the area, but can they not just run from this camp to the nearest town somewhere and ask for help? I mean, why go hide in this barn? Wait a goddamn minute. Instead of leaving the camp after seemingly killing Jason and going to get the police, they decide to take his body and dump it back in the lake? What the fuck? Okay, it's time to look at the plot and the story of the movie. The plot and the story isn't perfect, but it also doesn't end up being bad. The subplot of Jason kidnapping Whitney because she looks like his mom's, which causes Clay, her brother, to come to look for her, does work for the story. It also made more sense as to why these teenagers were here at this camp, other than to just have fun. What hinders the plot in the story, though, is the fact that a few plot conveniences had to happen for the movie to continue. From the cops only sending one officer, even though he was called because of a murder, to Jason not deciding to kill Clay in the third act for some reason. Nevertheless, the plot and story ends up being above average, and definitely good enough to watch again. So with that, the movie earns a 4 out of 5 for plot and story. Okay, so now that we have all the numbers, it's time to add them up. So the movie ends up with a 4.0 out of 5, and that gives it a B rating.
My special, special boy.